Well, we've got our next step on a lot of this color sanding. Got a lot of these parts ready. This part still needs some body work, but I thought because I still have a little time here at the end of the day, I get the next coat of white on some of these parts. And these are some of the parts that Mark had color sanded. Let's move this. And it's going to be the extra little work of doing the color sanding, the extra little detailing along the way. I know that you can see all the high spots he's picked out by taking this extra step. It's a labor-intensive step, but what it is when you're done, it really does make a difference. Now it's the end of my work day here, because we have to go get the baby. It's like he's in jail or something. He's not in jail. His class gets out. And it's like Superman. I changed from being Clark Kent the painter to, I don't know. Nobody seems to agree on what I do. Anyway, this is really a well worthwhile thing for Mark to have this done. I think it's going to make a nice difference in the final parts. And I've taken parts that I have on my bikes and done this several times. And it's always at the final, the way the paint lays down in the final coat is just beautiful when you do this. Now Vince's stuff is drying up right now, so as we always do here, we always have several projects at the same time. But the finish on this, every time we color sand it out, it's going to be nicer than the time before. You just can't win here. At the end of the day, it's got to get breezy out here. I made this little thing with the laundry basket thinking some of these parts are really difficult to hold. Now what I always try to do is go over the spots that have been wet sanded out. Let that tack up for a few seconds. And boy, it really is, when you have really old parts like this, it really is a big advantage to do a couple of color sandings if you have the ambition. You use a little more paint, a little more sandpaper, but the end result is just beautiful. And I'm just guessing when this bike is done, this will be the pride of Mark's fleet. Because it's a two-stroke, it's worth every minute of doing this. Yeah, I'm running out of paint here, but as I say that, Mark's got to get some more paint soon. Anyway, that is really going to be nice when it's done. Now it's just, I think we're sneaking up on having this part ready for the final coat of white. And boy, if you saw these parts when they first came into the shop, they were, let's just say this, they were a little on the rough side. I think Mark's going to be real happy the way this is going to play out. And again, because these are not bikes you're ever going to see again produced, there's just no way I want to compromise this. Now look, this is important. You got to tell everybody why you like to go to the train station. What's so good about going to the train station with Grandpa?
Watching trains.
Watching trains? But I have motorcycles to paint. Miles, we got motorcycles to paint. What's going on here? I don't see any trains here. Miles, when you come to the train station... Oh! A train coming! A train's coming! A train's coming! Wow! The train is coming. Oh, wow, look at this. Here he comes. Wow.
Take a picture, Grandpa.
Oh, take a picture. What the picture is of you. There's the train. Wow.
Take a picture.
Whoa. High speed.
Take a picture.
Ah. Whoa. Now can we go paint motorcycles?
No.
No? What are you talking about? Isn't this fun? And so inexpensive. Wow. Wow, how happy can a boy be? The train.
Take a picture.
Take a picture? Should I take a picture?
Yes.
How about if I take a picture of the train?
Yes.
Take a picture of the train? Oh, Luciano's on the train. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Take a picture.
Oh, no. Take a picture. I am taking a picture. Oh, my goodness. How happy can a boy be? How happy. Was that great?
Yeah, the last one
Was that great? Now, this is what I like. I get home from dinner last night, went out to dinner with Ray and Marilyn, and look what's here. A gallon of white paint from Mark's project. So we're going to get to work on that today, basically. It's a paintable day. It's supposed to snow later in the week, so I want to get that done. But now, let me share this with you. It's not often, Ray brought this down, not often that I get something this cool. And this is a really special book. And I just thumbed through this. I didn't get to read it yet. But the neat thing is it's something that, oh, look at this Yamaha. Now, can you imagine? You know how I love the Yamaha ladders and everything. This book, and I'll share this with people from time to time, and I know Luciano will want to read it, and probably Turbo Steve. It's got the whole life story, every girlfriend he ever had sex with, everything is in here. And, you know, now, it's funny for me, you know, of course, I've always liked Valentino Rossi, but this is really some intimate stuff in here. Out with the old, in with the new Yamahas. I mean, this is one special magazine, so I hope if you're one of the ones that gets to borrow this, you know, read it or keep it however long you need, and really nice. And Ray and Marilyn, thank you very much. We had a really spectacular, we ate at the German restaurant and had this giant pretzel, and I ate the whole pizza pie. So, pig that I am. Anyway, really neat stuff. So, I don't know. See, this is how most of the stuff about this, I only know the highlights. I don't know the real details of this stuff, but I'm looking one by one. Look, here's an example of something I like. Because of Miles, I'm always thinking of this. It's Valentino Rossi when he was the size of Miles. Anyway, everybody says I look just like Valentino Rossi, especially my curly black hair. Look at that. See, I'm not into any of these kind of paint jobs, so I'm not sure Vince or anybody would be into that either, but boy, you know, it's all in the eye of the beholder anyway. There's some nice, just really something special, and we'll be sharing this with our friends, of course. But for right now, let's get over there today and paint. We got to do some Bondo work, and we want to get outside and get some paint on this. This is the scenario, and this, by the way, this is a cool little thing. Karen had these little Teflon things. I've been using them she threw them out. I've been using them to mix Bondo on. We've been working on this area of this part for a while. It's bowed out because the exhaust pipe runs in there, so I really didn't have the option of putting 10 layers of carbon fiber here. Mark did some repair, I did some repair, but now I want to get, I'm going to really go to the nuclear option. I'm going to get some really rough sandpaper, knock that high spot down as much as I can with a block, and then use some of this Bondo to get in there. And Mark worked on this Saturday, but now I'm at the point where I want to get ready to paint this. This part has been color sanded, and you can see how many little things we cleaned up. We got the scoops pretty nice. These were in rough shape, but it's this area here we got to work on next. Okay, now this is what I call a nuclear option. This is a tool called a Permagrit tool. It's got carbide, so you can use this on aluminum, steel. Actually, we could do Steve's aluminum tank with this. Rough side, smooth side. But now, what I wanted to do is, see, this part goes, and it's got what I call a mountaintop right there. But I got to be careful. I'm going to put my finger inside to make sure. I don't want this to get too thin.
So this allows me to make that shape. Of course you can do it with rough sandpaper too, but this really makes it perfect. And I was hoping not to make this too thin. And this is just going to require a little bit of time working. I'm going to work this part. I want to get the Bondo on, and while that's drying, I want to sand the gas tank. We've sanded the gas tank down about 4 times already, but it's right at the point maybe the next time we'll really have it. Okay, we're getting close, 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 close. Now see, if you do this with a little block, if you do it with this block, the block goes up and goes down, up and down, up and down. When you have a long block, it follows the, it's like a long wheelbase bus or a motorcycle or whatever. And it leaves nice scratches in there that the Bondo will attach to. And the nice thing about this tool, keep this in mind, Turbo Steve, you can use this on aluminum. Permagrit is carbide. You can actually use it on steel. And this is a tool almost every modeler would have. It's an expensive tool. It used to be about 50 bucks. I don't know how much it is now, but you can see we've got the high part. Now I'm going to knock this part down, and then we're going to re-Bondo that. Now this is a really good trick. This is one of those little tricks that's worth its weight in gold. Because I really use this rough material, I've got scratches in here. Now, Bondo would do a good job, and I've used Bondo. Of course, you can see there's some Bondo there, but this is such a good trick. This is thick CA, Brodax CA. Glenn saw me do this, and he flipped out. He couldn't believe it worked this well as it did. What this is going to do is fill all the scratches. Of course, it's a lot more expensive than Bondo, but hey, for a friend like Mark, what do we care? Here we go. We're not gonna use any kicker on this at all. I'm just rubbing it down into the scratches. Now what's gonna happen, this is gonna have to sit for a few minutes. You don't wanna get this on your hands either. Then we'll block sand it out. Oh, there's the call that I gotta go get the baby. Now once that's kicked off, now I can use the little block because I pretty much got the shape I want. And now the trick is, now I'm sanding CA so that I've got an even surface. Now this process does take a little bit longer than just doing like the thing they do in California where you paint the whole car with Bondo. And then a year later you hit a bump and the fender falls off or something. But it's amazing how much time I've put into this, and that was my daughter on the phone and said I don't have to get the baby till later, so I have a couple hours to spend on Mark's project here. Okay, we're going to be pretty much ready to see what we got after all this time spending here. But there is a lot of satisfaction out of bringing these old parts back. And the last thing before we put some paint on this is with the soft block, because this will definitely just get it just a little bit smoother, that we won't need as much paint to fill it, hopefully. Now I was glad Saturday that Mark got a good some of this done. Obviously we accept all donations of labor. But not only that, when you learn how to do this, it opens up the door to you can do a lot of stuff with this technology. You can fix your scooter and your body work, and I've fixed things for Karen and toys, and it's nice to be able to just do this. Now let's just see how close we've got. That CA is a wonderful trick, by the way. Once you start using that, you really try to minimize the Bondo or even eliminate it. In the case of what we did with Glenn, just don't use any. Oh, nice. We're ready to paint. Looks ugly now. When it's painted, it'll look a lot nicer. And then we'll give it 2, 3, 4 coats of white, sand each one, and by the end of the day, it should be ready.
Now this is starting to dry up nice. And obviously we'll give that a couple more coats. We got 2 coats of white on there now. But these parts, if you don't put the 3rd coat of white on, they look gray. And I don't want to have it that we have anything mismatched. That's why Mark bought the gallon. I'm going to do the gas tank next. I wanted to check out Vince's stuff. Vince's stuff is just about as nice as it gets. His stuff's drying up out here. We'll bring that in the house tonight when we're done. But the colors here, and it's a terrible day for painting because you can see the wind is just blowing all over the place. But I wanted to show this. Let's get this out in the sun. They really did come out nice. I'm totally impressed. Anyway, but the wind is hauling. We're gonna. It's impossible to shoot any footage of the thing of the outdoors because we don't have a wind mic. If anybody out there knows how to make this camera better, as soon as the wind is blowing, you shh. But that's really, now see, having that gallon of white is going to make this a whole different job because we can color sand it 2-3 times and then we get the trim, the red, and Mark's got to get, we got it, well, he's got to approve the red. We have some red from a previous job and I don't know if it's going to be the color red that matches, because I know it's very important on a project like this. Well, it's very important with any of these bikes. You just get the color that matches, period. Now this is going to be another big challenge on this job. There's several places where the body work right here. And I know where they are ahead of time because I've candled this many times. There's one on this side, a small, it's up in the front. But I'll demonstrate, let me demonstrate why color sanding is a good way to do this. It's not when you're painting a car at Earl Scheib, but when you want to have a perfect paint job, or as perfect as you can possibly make it. We know there's a spot right in here. Oh, I see it. See, I can see it only when I candle it. If I don't candle it, I don't see it. Well, yeah, you could fill it with 20 coats of clear, but let me just show you how quick this works. It'll take me about maybe an hour to sand this whole tank down. But I'll have, before I put the next coat of white on, I'll have exposed every spot. See the high spot coming right up? Right up, instantly. Now the thing is, there's a bunch of them on here, that if we just let them go, yeah, you could let that go. Let's see if it's gotten any better now. Oh yeah, a lot better. And there's, every place there's a little spot. There's a little spot up here. I know this spot. Right along the edge. But to show how quick this works, and when you do a day of this, day of color sanding or a day of sanding period, one of the good things is you can skip that trip to the gym and save all that money by not having to hire a personal trainer. And at the end of the week, you'll be, you know, you'll feel like you're a big tough guy and you can beat up your grandson or whatever. I'm not sure. He still beats me up. But anyway, this color sanding thing, and I've used it many times. It's usually used when on the kind of a paint job where when you're doing it for yourself or your friends, where time is not of the essence or money of the essence, because obviously you use a lot more white paint, use a lot more sandpaper. You just go through 100 sheets of sandpaper, but it's that thing of in the end, when you put that out in the sun and it's spark like Vince's job, then you don't even care what this costs. It doesn't even matter. I thought I'd show this, Mark. This is your lucky day. The tank is coming out perfect, of course. That's, but look at a big branch. As I'm saying, it's a big branch. Flies down the driveway or off of the tree. I don't know where the hell it came from. But Mark, I think you're really gonna like that. And all that body work we did on this side, that looks like a brand new tank. And well, we got more parts to go, and Turbo Steve's gonna come by and pick his stuff up. So this is drying up real nice. And while it was drying, one of the things I did, Turbo Steve, look, my hooks are empty. Turbo Steve took his parts. He's gonna wet sand them out, put some more clear on them. They really need to be detail sanded. And this is the parts Vlad has his paint. So hopefully Friday when he comes here, we'll be able to see if that part, that color, is going to match this color red. If it does, that's great. And boy, as I look at Vince's stuff, wow. Vince, this stuff is like jewelry. I think you're going to be impressed. But this still needs a couple of sandings, some more white paint. And the problem is, as we always do around here, we ran out of time for today. And I can't wait to spend some time and read about my friend here. Hey, and thanks for watching. And I haven't forgotten your project, Glenn. I know you're busy, but you know, love this color. Anyway, again, I say it. Thanks for watching. That's the sound we want to hear. All right, Ray and Malcolm, get your heart out. Wow.